Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have Darren with me again, and this is part 2 of our video. Just want to recap a little bit about what we talked about on the first video. Just our initial friendship, how it became stronger as friends, and what led up to us becoming more than friends. That's where we stopped at, so that's where we're going to pick up right now. So
after the initial dates,
yes, I wouldn't call them dates
because
I was real. Yeah, I was real.
She didn't want to. She didn't want to call it a date because she was.
Because I didn't want to date nobody.
So we met for lunch.
Yeah.
Let's say that we met for lunch. So after the first few initial meetings for lunch, we decided to. And I can't even remember who it was, me or her, but we decided to maybe take it to the next step, to call it a date and to go out to a movie or something, because we just wanted to see where it would go.
I remember being nervous.
I remember,
even though we had gone out.
we had gone out, but it was
just friends, and now it was like it was something on the line.
Right, but we had talked about it prior to.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
We had talked about that and how that if things didn't work out on that next level, that we both felt confident that our friendship would still be there.
Friends. Yeah.
And that was important to both of us because the friendship was more important than the companion.
It did.
And so we went on a few dates and.
I feel like it was up and down, man. It was up and down. I think I was going through it, even though I don't know. I was just going through it. Like some days I would be good, and then the other days I'm like, no, I can't do it. Darren, this is just I can't do it. And you gotta just slow down. Like it's
okay. We can slow down.
You said whatever we need to do, we would do. That's what you always said.
Right.
You never got upset because one day I was like, yeah, and the next day I was like, no. He has the patience of Job, I'm trying to tell you, because dealing with me sometimes is it's tricky. So I had my moments.
Well, I don't know how much of that was affected by feelings that she had or feelings that people were injecting on her when we went out in public or we were seen in public.
Because I think we got dirty looks. We got a lot of dirty looks. A lot of people whispering, a lot of people pointing. I felt like as soon as we walked in somewhere, it was like, everybody tunnel vision.
Right. Everybody's attention was on us.
And it could have been just in my mind, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
But because of that, and because of the choices that we're making about taking things slow, baby steps. I remember baby steps.
Every time I felt uncomfortable, that's what I would say. I want baby steps. Dan, come on now, come on, baby steps.
And because of those baby steps, we kept it a secret. From people that knew us, because we didn't need them to try to interject their opinion on us. If we ask for your opinion, then we're wanting it, but we didn't need anybody to tell us what we should or shouldn't do, because it didn't matter to me what anyone else thought I should do. It mattered to me what I thought I should do or what Tanetta thought I should do. And I felt the same way with that. She thought the same thing. So we kept it away from everybody. I think, you were talking about your mom finding out or asking you about us when Tanetta and her mom went to the beach. Yeah. And
when we got back from the beach, Leilani had a ballet recital, and so you were gonna come, and then at the last minute I was like, no, just no. And I felt bad, but I was like, no, I couldn't. I don't know. I just didn't want to take anything away from Leilani, and I didn't want I feel like I wasn't going to be able to focus on what I needed to focus on because I was going to be too worried about what everybody
was going to say.
So I was just like, we'll just meet for lunch after the recital. Because I feel like, did you meet her?
I met her the
day we got back from the beach, right?
Right, and then I think the
next day.
The next day was her recital.
Yeah, it was her recital. So the day at the park, him and Leilani had met. They hit it off pretty well. And my daughter she's like me. She's a quick judge of character. She knows. She can feel your energy. She knows who loves her, who doesn't, who has her best interests at heart, and who doesn't. And if she really don't fool with you, it's for a reason. So just to see her warm up to him so quickly, because how long was we at the park? Like 3-4 hours?
Yeah.
And I mean, you would have thought she had known him all her life, you know. So they were just playing together and, you know, laughing together, and that really made me feel good because a lot of people that I had tried to date previously, even though nobody had ever met my daughter, they had kids, but they didn't want to do stuff with their kids, and that was like a turnoff for me. To know you have kids and you don't like to do kid things, you know what I mean? So just to know that he was okay with going to the park, he was okay if I was to ever say, hey, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese, and we're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese all day. Or if we go see a movie, we're going to go see a kid's movie, and, you know, you didn't feel any type of way.
Because I not only I saw Tanetta as a woman, but I also knew that she was a mom, and that's part of what, you know, is her life. Yeah. She's a mother, and she's a woman, and I've got to be able to encompass all that in the relationship, because it wasn't just about her; it was about her and Leilani. Yeah, and you know, we did hit it off, and it was a good feeling to have her warm up to me so much.
And she was hugging him by the end of the afternoon, and she's like, you know, asking about him, and you know, because I told him before he met her, I was like, if you meet Leilani, we got to be for real, because like I said, nobody had ever met Leilani. Only people she knew was my daddy, her daddy, and her uncle, my brother, as far as men in her life. So I was like, I don't want you to come around and then you're not going to stay around. So that was like a big thing for me, and I think that was a big thing for us when you finally met her. And I also told him too, if she don't like you, you might well lose my number. Because, you know, she was 4 at the time. Yeah, and I wasn't going to have her go through her life with a stepdaddy she didn't like, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, if she don't like you, it's done, son. So I'm glad that she did, and
we decided to have lunch the next day.
Yeah, decided to have lunch the next day,
and that was the day of the ballet.
Yeah, and I was trying to sneak off. Lord, I was trying to sneak off.
And then people found out where she was going
for lunch. People, a.k.a. Brown, which is my grandma, my mom, my brother, and was.
Your sister
She didn't come? Okay. And
she had to work or something. But they found out that...
Sissy was?
I think so, yes.
Was she?
I believe
I think she was
too.
So the whole gang, the
family found out where she was going and wanted to go.
They was like, y'all going out. And they didn't even know it was y'all as in me, Darren, and Leilani. When they were saying y'all, they were talking about just me and Leilani. I'm like, yeah, we just trying to be low key. And I'm like, we finna go? And I'm like... Here we go. And I was like, look, y'all, here's the tea, okay? I'm going to meet my friend Darren. And I told him everything about Darren. I was like, don't y'all start nothing. I said, when we get here, don't be grilling him. Don't act crazy. And they was like, man, we going to be cool. So when they met, I mean, I was sweating the whole way driving. I was like, oh, Jesus. you know, I was
Hope nobody
nervous.
says anything or asks anything out of the way.
Yeah, and my family, my mom's side of the family is who I'm talking about, because that's who met them that day. But they are really, really open-minded. They're really loving. They, like I said, I think that's where I get that from. Just, you know, just not meeting a stranger, always trying to give, always just, I don't know, they just got a loving spirit about them. They give you the shirt off the backs, and I just feel like that was a good group to have meet him first, because I feel like anybody else might have been a little judgmental, but he got out the car, because I really didn't describe him. I just said a
friend from work.
Yeah, and so then we walking up, I'm like, hey, Darren, and I gave him a hug, and Leilani runs up to him like she's known him all her life, and I introduced everybody, and it was fine. It really was a really good afternoon. Everybody laughed, and we joked, and we ate. I think Serena Williams was playing that day, and we were watching a tennis match, and we were just all like talking, and we stayed in there like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And then when we left, everybody was like, okay, he's a really nice person. And so that really, really helped me to be more comfortable and open to him being my boyfriend. But I still was saying friend.
Yes.
I still was saying friend because, like I said, I had my moments. I was like, and I think it was because I was just so unsure. I had a lot of fears. I had a lot of trust issues, for one, because a lot of people, you know, say one thing and they do another. And I just didn't want to get myself into that pattern again. But then my main concern was the age gap, because I've dated outside my race before. That's nothing new for me. That was something new for you.
Yes.
But yeah, it was nothing new for me. So that was nothing. But I was really concerned about the age gap. And I would like panic almost, just thinking about, you know, well, what if something happens to you? What am I going to do? You know, well, you're 70 years old and I'm 45 years old.
But that she thought that she didn't want to spend X amount of years in a relationship and then me no longer be here. Mm-hmm. And
like, I feel like our time was going to be limited. I
right.
think that was the main thing.
And then, you know, I remember having that conversation, and, you know, life doesn't have a limit.
No.
On you know, people can leave just as quick as they came in.
Yes, they can.
And life is short.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just something that we discussed, and I think there was, I don't know if the light hit her one day, and she just realized, you know what, why wouldn't I want to be happy for as many years as I can
possibly
be happy for?
Yep.
And that was a big decision and
mm-hmm.
a big step, I think,
mm-hmm.
that got us to where we are today.
Yeah. And when I finally said it out loud, like, Darren is my boyfriend, I didn't get the reaction that I thought I was going to get. Some people gave us looks at my family, and I just kind of took it for what it was at the time. But then most people, I'd say 90%, 95% of my family was like, okay, that's good for you as long as he treats you right. As long as he makes you happy,
I remember
I'm
a cookout that she had, her family had.
Yeah.
And there was a gentleman that came from work who didn't know at the time, and no one, I don't feel like anyone other than her friend at work knew. He was just coming because it was a holiday, I think.
Yeah, and he didn't have family.
And he didn't have family here, so he was coming to, you know,
yeah, and we told him to come on.
Spend some time.
Mm-hmm.
But he heard her say to somebody in the kitchen that I was her boyfriend, and he looked at me like, what? You know, how come nobody knows?
Yeah.
And that's when he and I sat there for a little bit and talked about why we decided not to let people in on this.
Because by the time we had told everybody, our bond was so strong, It was like nobody
nothing's gonna break this
nothing's
apart.
gonna break it. And I'm glad we did it that way, because I think if we would have came out and told people, we wouldn't be sitting.
And everybody would have tried to put their opinion
everybody would have gotten to
and what scared me as far as someone's opinion was made me nervous was that same day was when her dad asked me. He said, I don't need to know the answer, but all I want to do is make sure that you're good to my daughter.
Yeah.
And
I was nervous about him too.
If you're good to my daughter, nothing else matters to me.
Yeah.
And
because I'm the baby.
That gave me comfort. Baby girl. That gave me comfort in knowing that, that he's cool with it. He's okay.
Because he don't like nobody, y'all. He don't like nobody. Nobody. But I think that's a daddy thing. You just feel like nobody's good enough. Yeah. So I'm telling you, he ain't like nobody.
But he said, just as long as you can make my daughter happy and I see a
treat
smile
my grandbaby right. Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Yep.
And so that day I think was a day that there was
a ton of weight lifted off of both of our shoulders.
Was. And the more I came over and spent time with her family, the more comfortable I felt. I think the more comfortable they felt with having me there.
Yeah.
And I get along with all of them now. So it was a good feeling. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, you spoke him up. Ain't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Call him back.
We were just talking about somebody.
Yeah, and hadn't talked to him in a while.
A while,
and he calls. That's crazy.
Wow.
But where were we at?
So we had now let people know. We're letting people know.
Yep,
we slowly let people in on it.
And we had a transparency about our expectations. And I think that was a good thing, that we try not to put any big expectations on us. We're just like, we're going to go with the flow, and we're going to see how things go, and just let things happen naturally and not pressure each other. And we had an open line of communication. We were like, look, baby steps was like our safe word. If we ever felt like things were moving too fast, or if we ever felt uncomfortable about anything, we would just, say, baby steps. Baby steps, pump the brakes. That meant pump the brakes. And I think that open line of communication and being able to just express ourselves and just tell each other our wants and needs, and just being able to not feel like, because I feel like we were able to talk to each other and tell each other things without getting upset, and we still can.
Right.
I feel like sometimes, even in my previous relationship, even in friendships, just anything, some of those tough conversations, even though you're not trying to be offensive to people still take offense to the things you say, and we never once took offense,
to each other.
Yeah.
It was, we just
It was a lot of understanding,
it was what it was.
Yeah, and so I appreciated that, because, like I said, I had my days where I was okay, and then I had other days where I was not so okay. So let's talk about you telling your family.
So I wanted to make sure I did it in person, which was difficult to do because my kids were in different places, and they were living their own lives, and I decided to I told my son first, and he was not shocked.
Yeah.
And he was accepting, and said that ultimately life is short, Dad, and you've got to be happy. And if you're happy, then I'm happy. And since he was the first one that I told, it gave me that comfort in knowing that things were going to be good with him. He wanted to make sure that I was happy. That was the most important thing. And so I told him, I told my daughter, and she initially was happy that I was in a relationship, but I think the age gap is the most important factor with her. so it's not as difficult. It's not as easy with her, and that's part of this. I think the struggles in the whole thing that with us that we've had, and with other people that we're trying to with this video help them if they have some of the same experiences. That life is not always going to be the way that you planned it. No. And life is not always going to be with someone that's exactly the same as you with everything. Race, religion, age. Nothing's going to ever be the exact same with other people. And I think that our differences makes us stronger because it's, I learned so much more about her because she's younger,
and I learned so much from him because he's older, and I like it. I like to
and I learned so much more about her because she's a different race than I am.
Yes,
and so it everything that works, everything that I think people in society thinks that wouldn't work. Those are the things that work.
Yeah, because I think, one good thing about us, and I really can't speak for anybody else, but we never downplay each other's ages or our backgrounds or our generations, and we definitely don't downplay each other's cultures. We're open to everything, and we try to we have differences, but we also have similarities.
Right.
And I think we realized how much similar we are once we actually got to, get to know each other and just experience each other. We're like, okay, we're not that different after all. The age gap doesn't matter that much after all.
Well, because it comes to a certain point in your life where you're no longer a kid.
Yeah.
And you're an adult. And everybody.
And you're not black and you're not white.
And everybody at that point's an adult.
Yeah.
It's so the age gap, I think, it became less of an issue. The more that we got deeper into the relationship, it became less of an issue.
Yeah, and I think in our household, we're just Darren and Tanetta, and that's a really, really good thing. But when we step outside, I feel like a lot of people do see our differences, the age gap, the race difference. And they raise their eyebrow, like, how could they ever have anything in common? How could you, I've just heard so many nasty, ugly things being said about the age gap and the interracial part of our relationship. And it's just like, if you don't have an open mind, you're never going to get to find true happiness, you know what I mean? And you're not going to be able to see everybody else's happiness, because just seeing us from the outside looking in, I think it does look a little crazy.
People wonder how in the world can she ever make me happy, or how can I ever make her happy?
And we make each other happier than we ever been.
It's not so much that we have to answer that question for them. We have to answer that question for each other.
Yeah.
And if we can make each other happy and put a smile on each other's face daily, then that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And everything else, like my son told me, everything else that anybody else is going to say is just noise.
Yeah.
And you don't need to listen to any noise.
Yeah, and I'm really, ever since we really, really got serious, I've been real protective of our little family dynamic. Me, you, and Leilani. I don't engage with people, and I don't go around people who I know for a fact aren't supportive of us, and they can take it personally. I've gotten to the point where I don't care if they take it personally, because our peace is more important to me than somebody being offended because I date somebody 25 years older than me and somebody outside of my race. And if that's a big issue for you, then we don't have to come around.
Right.
Because you can pick and choose where you go. You can pick and choose who you be around, and you can pick and choose who what type of energy you invite in. And I just choose not to be around negative people. And I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's friends. I don't care if it's coworkers. If I ever get a vibe from you, and I try to give people chances, but probably after the second or third time, I'm like, okay, you got an issue,
just because
and
they
you
don't
need to deal with your
agree,
issue.
because they don't agree with what is happening with us. They don't have to agree with it, but they don't have to be part of it. Yeah. But they don't have to be part of it either.
And it's a, for me, it's a respect thing. And it's like your son said, as long as we're happy, we're not toxic for each other. We love each other deeply, and it's like, why would you not? How could you not?
Why would anyone not want that?
Yeah, how could you not want that for somebody? Somebody who truly has found, their soulmate, and how could you just not agree with that? But like I said, I think it's a mind thing, and I think it's a lot of stereotypes that come with this. So, I'm thankful that we went through the things that we've gone through. I'm thankful, just for everything, because in the way, I'm glad we did it the way we did, because like I said, I don't think we would be here. Well, and those things made us stronger.
Because also too, and things that we both experienced prior to our meeting each other, affects and changes and helps us to become stronger if we learn from those things and be better prepared for what the future is going to hold for us.
Yeah, and I see the future being very, very bright. I pray that we have many, many years together, and I hope and I pray that we just continue to build, our little family. It's me, Leilani, Darren, his 2 kids, the grandkids. I'm a grandma, y'all, low key. But that's just, I guess, I don't know, a plus, a bonus to, being with somebody older. I'm experiencing all these new things. And it's a good thing. It's an exciting journey. And I can see us, getting married and just being happy. Because like I said, believe it or not, we've been together a year and a half.
Yes.
And we do not argue. We laugh. We still joke with each other. We still date. He still takes me on dates. Even though Corona
hadn't helped that, but
Corona just messed it up. But we've improvised. We got a little patio set. Even though I don't like outdoors, I'm swatting bugs and everything. We eat dinner outside. We have our little Saturday ritual.
And then we have movie night.
Yeah, we have movie night. I mean, I feel like we're just like a regular couple. But yeah, he still opens the doors for me. He does, like, everything he did to get me, he still does. And I feel like everything I did in the beginning, I still do. And that just shows each other that, we still love each other. We still care about each other.
We didn't do those things just of trying to.
Yeah, we did it out of the genuine, kindness of our hearts.
Right.
And the true love out of our hearts. And it shows every day. And I just hope everybody else watching this video, if you are having any doubts about whoever you're with, or somebody you potentially want to be with, if that person is good for you, if that person is good to you, let them be, and don't worry about nobody else. Just let that person love you, because at the end of the day, it's just you and that person. And that's just how I think about me and Darren. It's just me and Darren. And yes, I love my family. But I've gotten to the point where people agree, they agree, and if they disagree, it's okay, because I'm content. And, you're either going to join us in our happiness or you're going to watch from afar.
Right.
And so, like I said, just have the courage to step out. I'm glad we had the courage
Give things in life a chance. Give things in life a chance.
Yeah, just give it a chance.
If you don't, then you won't have a chance.
Yeah, you won't have a chance, and you'll never know. And you'll be sitting somewhere 20 years from now, like, what if? And that's one big thing that I've never wanted to do ever again, was be like, what if? So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our story. I hope you guys enjoy it. My cheeks are hurting, but that's like every day around here.
And I hope
I'm continuously
that
smiling.
whatever part of this video that you're able to get and take in for yourself, that's helped you, or even if it's just helped you learn a little bit about us, you know, that's the purpose of it.
Yes, the purpose of this video.
To let everyone know what's going on with us, and let them learn a little bit, and take from it what they can.
Yes, so again, thank you guys, and we will see you the next time. Y'all have a good Saturday. Be safe.